Monte, what are you doing?
When we bought my own place and moved into it, I was like, hey, I want to go adopt a donkey. So I reached out to TMR Rescue, and she's like, well, we have this little guy over here. His name is Monte. And he was off in the corner, really quiet, shy, like didn't want to hang out. But he was so sweet. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the one. She's like, well, he's 26 and he's been here for 10 years. Apparently, he was a hoarding case with up to 20 other donkeys, and he was the only one that had been gelded. At first, he was really quiet. And we know that donkeys bray. We know that they're vocal. But he never made any noise while we were there.
Oh, goodness.
And the third day he was at the house, I was in the back, putting food in the buckets, and all of a sudden he just started braying, and it scared all of us. There was a really strange noise that started coming out of his mouth, and he looked just as shocked as the rest of us. When he's impatient enough, he'll just start yelling at the door. So we call him the dinner bell because the horses have caught on to the fact that if he brays, that means mom is outside and mom has snacks or food. Even the dogs know when they hear him, they know what time of the day it is. But he's not the typical donkey that you hear the noises of in, movies or anything like that. And so those are the two biggest things that people have to say. And then they ask what's wrong with him because his bray is not the normal donkey hee-haw. People have all kinds of different ideas of what he could be singing. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, some Frank Sinatra songs. But for me, I just think that he's happy to be able to have found his voice and tell everybody about it. I mean, he's earned it. He spent 10 years of the rescue, 16 years that we don't know about. So we're trying to spoil him as safely as possible. During the winter time, especially for his age, he loses a lot of heat out of his ears. So we had been putting socks on his ears, but he was able to rub them off and they weren't as waterproof. We're trying to find a solution. And a really sweet follower, she made that mask for him. It's waterproof pink fabric. It goes over his little face and his ears during the wintertime when it's extra cold to help keep his little ears warm to keep him warmer. It looks so funny when he wears it. And so we think he's Lady Gaga. We really do, especially with the mask. And just having him here, having the horses be so happy, giving an animal like him a second chance at life to do whatever he wants to do, that's changed my life. And I'll never regret it. I'm so happy. And we've been able to help other rescuers, especially his. And we bring smiles to people. That's one of the best things. I mean, free smiles. Like, who wouldn't love that? Especially with a weird little donkey like him. And get other people to see different adoption stories like that, I think is really important too.
Irvin was the very first animal our sanctuary ever took in. We were friends with a lady that goes to an auction in Iowa. So she sent us a picture of Irvin and his number was 999. And for us, the numerology is kind of a sign. So we knew that he was the one. He was so weak that he really couldn't walk and he didn't want to go outside. He was very emaciated and skinny and he had lice covering him. So it was just kind of scary and shocking. Because donkeys can go downhill really fast. I mean, he was the first donkey that any of us have ever had experience with personally. So we had to have him vet out a couple times. And they had said that that was a probably a chronic infection that the body couldn't work to heal. So that was a big issue.
And could we actually help him just because his vitals were very poor and he was very emaciated?
Good morning. Hi. Are you hungry? Let's get you some breakfast.
He's on medications 3 times a day for the eye, and then pain med once a day.
So we do a lot with kind of alternative healing methods. So we do red light, and we do a lot with oils and things like that. So we kind of slowly started with that. We slowly started getting him on feed, and we switched his feed from his hay that he was on before, and getting him to a point where he can build up muscle so that he had the strength to get better. But in terms of like being a healthy weight, probably 4 or 5 months just to get him to a healthy weight. And since he started to get better.
He went from a very passive animal anyone could do anything with to an animal that has a lot of opinions and a lot of sass and wants to make his opinions known. He's sassy, he bites, he kicks. He's even tried to like rear and mount us. He tries to mount the other horses in like a playful kind of way.
He will definitely try to be in charge of the 2 bigger horses by, turning his butt to him, lifting up a little kick.
And then he likes to go down our barn aisle and play with some of the horses. And some of them like him, and some of them are like, whoa, what are you doing?
So Irvin thinks he is in charge of the entire sanctuary.
He has had a complete 180. He's fun, he's exciting, he's silly.
Almost. Yes.
He can definitely bring joy to any situation. And sharing his story is a huge part of the sanctuary. So I think a lot of people resonate with him and just like what he represents and how we started this all.
This is Herschel. He is the tiniest troublemaker on our farm. He's probably about 37 inches tall at the shoulder. But he does not know how small he is.
Herschel.
I generally only find him where he's not supposed to be.
What in the world are you doing? Get home. Get.
He is a tiny tornado of love and attitude. He does not like to be alone. If the neighbors are riding by on their horses, he'll go and he'll say hi. And he will still scream for my old gelding, Caden, which is his absolute best friend. Anything Herschel wanted to do, Caden was all for it as long as Herschel stayed close. I have honestly never seen 2 animals bond as much as Caden and Herschel have bonded. But when we started introducing him to our horses, he was very shy at first, very uncertain. He was about 7 or 8 months old at this time. The plan was not to do miniature donkeys, but after someone reached out to me, the next day I went and I picked him up.
Hi, Herschel. Hi, Herschel.
He was very scruffy. He looked like he had never been bathed. So we brought him home and we kept him quarantined from everybody else. Then we clipped him, like shaved all of his hair off because he was infested with lice. But he was unhandled. So they wear like a head collar and that way you can lead them around. And within the first week, he started talking. And then about a 2-week mark, I just kind of wanted to see how the other horses were going to react. But Herschel was very uncertain of the horses at first because he had never seen anything that large. He'd only been with sheep. Herschel, just stay there. He got to touch noses with them, but he remained isolated and not out with everybody. So it took a few days of consistent, showing him that everybody's safe. But he has bonded very, very deeply with my thoroughbred gelding, Caden.
Hey, Herschel. Hey. Hey.
From the moment Caden locked eyes on Herschel, he has been in love with him. I think Caden genuinely believes that he gave birth to him. So when Herschel first kind of started escaping and going under the fences, Caden would panic. He is freaking out because that is his baby. Where is my child? Please come back. So that was a bit of an issue, was him upsetting the herd dynamic when he would escape. You stinky bad boy. Yeah. You stinky bad boy. Go. Yeah. Caden definitely showed Herschel that horses are family. I never would have imagined that he would have turned into this extremely confident, extremely friendly, funny donkey.
You need to go in there. Get.
I think Herschel's motto is, you can do anything you want to do. And he does not believe in giving up. We are absolutely, completely blessed to have him.